Hey, it's Trisha, and I never thought my picture-perfect life could unravel in a single night. Picture this: a luxurious wellness center, the air thick with lavender and secrets, where the warmth of a hot tub was supposed to melt away my stress. Instead, it ignited a firestorm of temptation I couldn't escape. My husband, Mark, was called away on an emergency, leaving me with his closest friends, guys I trusted like family. But as the steam swirled and the drinks flowed, boundaries blurred, and I found myself teetering on the edge of a betrayal that could shatter everything I hold dear. What happened next will haunt me forever. Will I confess? Or will this secret destroy me? Hey there, I'm Trisha. And I guess you could say my life's been a quiet kind of steady, until recently, that is. I'm 30, living in a cozy corner of suburban Chicago where the days hum along with a familiar rhythm. My husband, Mark, is 32 and a logistics manager. His job means he's often out at weird hours, juggling shipments and schedules. He's got this dark hair and these warm brown eyes that still catch me off guard with a single glance. We've been married 5 years now, built a life that feels like a soft blanket, comfortable, maybe even a little predictable. I'm a freelance graphic designer myself, working from home most days. It's flexible, sure, but I'll admit I've been itching for something to shake up the routine. Then there's our little circle, my husband's college buddies who've stuck with us through the years. There's Ethan first. He's 31 and the kind of guy who lights up any space he's in. Tall guy with a mop of blonde hair that's always got a quip ready to fly. You can't help but laugh when he's around. And Caleb, he's 29 and more on the quiet side. Got these piercing green eyes and a way of talking that makes you feel like he's really listening. He's a quieter by trade, all deep thoughts and big ideas. The four of us? We're tight. Whether it's throwing burgers on the grill in our backyard or sneaking off for weekend trips out of town, we've got a bond full of late-night talks and memories I wouldn't trade for anything. They're the kind of friends who feel like home, you know? Speaking of shaking things up, let me tell you about this one night that started out like a dream. It was a Friday, and after a grueling week, Mark, Ethan, Caleb, and I rolled up to this upscale wellness center around 8 p.m. The place was pure luxury, marble floors gleaming under soft lights, cascading water features that trickled like a lullaby, and the faint scent of lavender lingering in the air. We'd booked private hot tub rooms for the night, a little splurge to wash away the stress, and the excitement was buzzing through us like static. I could feel the weight of deadlines and endless Zoom calls already starting to lift as we stepped through those grand glass doors, laughing and chattering over each other. We headed to the changing rooms first, slipping into these fluffy white robes and matching slippers that made us look like we'd stumbled onto the set of some ritzy hotel commercial. Ethan struck a dramatic pose, one hand on his hip, pretending to model for an invisible camera, and I couldn't help but giggle as Mark egged him on with a whistle. Even Caleb, who usually keeps to himself, cracked a grin as he tied his robe. It felt like we were kids playing dress-up, carefree for the first time in ages. From there, we shuffled into a dimly lit room for a group massage session. The moment the therapist's hands pressed into my shoulders, I let out a sigh I didn't even know I'd been holding. Knots I hadn't noticed before started to unravel, and my whole body seemed to melt into the table. Mark, lying on the table next to me, kept muttering about feeling like a brand new man, his voice light and playful, while I'm still reeling as I think back to how everything shifted that night at the wellness center. After the massage, we'd moved to the private hot tub room, the air thick with steam and the soft hum of jets filling the space. I was just starting to settle into the warmth when Mark's phone buzzed with that insistent tone I've come to dread. He stepped out to take the call, and when he came back, his face was a mask of regret. He pulled me aside, his voice low, explaining that a shipment crisis at work had blown up and he had to cover a 5 a.m. shift. My heart sank like a stone, disappointment tightening in my chest, but I forced a smile. I told him I'd stay with Ethan and Caleb, catch a ride home with them later. He leaned in, kissing me softly, his lips lingering with a promise to make it up to me. Then he was gone, his footsteps echoing down the hall, leaving just the three of us in that hazy, dimly lit room. I slid deeper into the hot tub, the bubbles teasing my skin, almost tickling as they danced around me. I tried to push away the loneliness creeping in without Mark, focusing on the heat soaking into my muscles. Ethan and Caleb were quick to sense my mood, tossing light-hearted jabs and stories my way to keep the vibe up. We ordered another round of drinks, the cool glasses slick with condensation in the steamy air. The alcohol hit me faster than I expected, my head swimming just a bit, thoughts blurring at the edges like a smudged sketch. I laughed a little too loud at something Ethan said, feeling the tension ease, if only for a moment. Then it happened. I stood to shift my spot in the tub, needing a better angle to lean back, when my towel, loosely tied after changing earlier, slipped right off. It fell into the water with a soft plop, leaving me completely bare in front of them. My breath caught in my throat, heat rushing to my face as mortification gripped me. My hands fumbled, reaching for anything to cover up, but I was frozen, heart hammering so loud I swore they could hear it over the hum of the jets. Time seemed to slow, the steam swirling around us like a dream I couldn't wake from. My mind was a fog, the alcohol dulling my edges, making everything feel surreal, almost detached, as if I were watching myself from above. Ethan's eyes flicked up to meet mine, a spark of something unreadable in them, while Caleb's gaze lingered just a moment too long before he looked away, clearing his throat. I stammered an apology, my voice shaky, barely a whisper, but neither of them laughed or made a joke. Instead, there was this heavy silence, charged with something I couldn't name. Or maybe didn't want to. Ethan broke the tension first, his voice low, almost a murmur, as he leaned closer, the steam curling between us. He told me I was beautiful, his words wrapping around me like the warm water, sinking deep into my skin. I felt my cheeks flush, not just from embarrassment now, but from something else, something dangerous. Then Caleb's hand found my lower back, his fingers tracing small, deliberate circles just above the waterline. It sent shivers racing up my spine, electric and unexpected, my breath hitching as I tried to process the sensation. My thoughts were a storm, guilt slamming hard against a wave of desire so intense it scared me. I've never felt anything like it, not even in my most private moments. Mark's face flashed in my mind, his trusting smile, the way he'd kissed me goodbye just hours ago. But here I was, caught in this haze, my heart pounding for all the wrong reasons. I opened my mouth to say something, to stop this before it went further, but my voice came out weak, a fragile thread lost in the rumble of the hot tub jets. I don't even know what I meant to say. Maybe to pull back, to remind them of boundaries. But the words never came. Instead, they seemed to sense my hesitation, and with a quiet understanding, they guided me out of the tub. Ethan handed me a fresh towel, his fingers brushing mine as he did, while Caleb steadied me with a hand on my arm. I'm not sure how to even begin processing what happened next, but I need to get this out, to confess it, even if just to myself. That night at the wellness center, I didn't just cross a line, I shattered it, not once, but 3 times with Ethan and Caleb. I can still feel the weight of it, the way each moment carved itself into my memory, raw and unfiltered, leaving me trembling with both shame and something I can't quite name. The first time, it unfolded almost in slow motion, like we were all dipping our toes into forbidden waters, unsure if we'd dive in. We'd moved from the hot tub to a plush chaise lounge in a secluded corner of the private room, the dim amber lights casting long shadows across the tiled floor. The air was thick with the scent of chlorine and something heavier, unspoken. Their skin brushed against mine, warm and unfamiliar, sending a jolt through me that I couldn't ignore. I heard whispers, soft, fragmented words I couldn't piece together, like a secret language meant just for that moment. My body reacted in ways that betrayed every shred of guilt clawing at my mind, every thought of Mark screaming for me to stop. But I didn't. I couldn't. It was like I was caught in a current, pulled under by a force I didn't understand. The second time, the hesitation was gone. We'd broken through that initial barrier, and what followed was bolder, reckless, like a wildfire we couldn't contain. We'd slipped into a nearby sauna room, the heat and steam wrapping around us, amplifying every sensation until my skin felt like it was burning from more than just the temperature. The wooden benches creaked under our weight as the air grew heavy, my heart pounding so hard I thought it might burst. It was a rush, a surge of exhilaration that came from doing something so wrong yet feeling so alive. Every touch, every fleeting connection was electric, sending sparks through me that drowned out the voice of reason. I was lost in it, in the thrill of rebellion against the predictable life I'd built, against every rule I'd ever followed. By the third time, the energy had shifted again. It's dawn now, and I'm still reeling from everything that unfolded at the wellness center. I'm sitting in the quiet lounge area, the soft hum of early morning activity barely registering as I wait for Mark to come back. My mind is a tangled mess, every thought heavy with the weight of what I've done. The clock on the wall ticks closer to 6 a.m., and my stomach churns with a mix of dread and anticipation. Then I see him. Mark, walking through the glass doors, his shoulders slumped from exhaustion, but his face lighting up the moment his eyes find mine. He looks worn out, dark circles under those warm brown eyes, but there's a relief in his expression that cuts me deeper than I expected. I force a smile, my lips trembling with the effort, as he strides over and pulls me into a tight hug. His familiar scent, cedar and a hint of coffee, wraps around me, and my heart hammers so hard I'm sure he can feel it against his chest. He pulls back just enough to look at me, his hands still on my shoulders, and asks if I had a good time with Ethan and Caleb. His voice is so genuine, so trusting, that it feels like a punch to the gut. I swallow the lump in my throat and lie through my teeth, telling him it was uneventful, just more drinks and some lazy hot tub time. Inside, though, I'm drowning, guilt flooding every corner of my mind, threatening to spill out in a confession I'm not ready to make. Ethan and Caleb are nearby, grabbing their bags, and they slide into the conversation with an ease that unnerves me. Ethan cracks a casual remark about the jets in the tub being better than therapy, while Caleb nods along, tossing in a quiet comment about how late we stayed up chatting. Their banter with Mark is seamless, not a single crack in the facade, no hint of the storm that raged just hours ago. I stand there, nodding like everything's fine, but my hands are clenched at my sides, nails digging into my palms. I can barely look Mark in the eye, terrified he'll see right through me, that he'll somehow sense, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.